This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the Foster.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a fucking car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on.
He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
That's right, it's showtime. Wednesday, December 28th. Last time I say, hey, everybody, for the 2022 calendar year. So, hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Interesting week, the final week. We'll let everybody kind of catch up and catch on. But I hope everybody's well. Tonight we're going to reflect. Even going to let you participate should you desire. Because time travels very quickly. And it's getting faster. But, I mean, just a couple of days ago, Christmas. And then, poof. Just like that, Christmas was over. A lot of people struggle with the holidays. We'll talk about that too, as I try to do a lot of shows on getting through the holidays, but we'll talk about that too. I'm not going to mention too much that over the past couple of days, Christmas and all that, here in sunny Southern California, we had, shall I say? All right, I will. We had 82-degree weather for Christmas. Now, I know many of you were probably freezing. It happens. It's called wintertime. Happens a lot, actually. What are you going to do? Kind of is what it is. What we got going on here? Just checking. Checking my list. I'm checking it twice. Let's do this. Okay. Anyway, so it was 82 degrees. Yeah. Yeah. It was warm. And I know it was cold in lots of places, but that's the way it goes. Believe me, you'll get there again. And it's seasonal. It's called seasons. In California, we have mild seasons. Pay through the nose for it, but that's, again, the choices we make in life. Believe me. I'm questioning those choices a lot. But anyway, I'm glad we're here. I'm glad you're here. We're going to do a lot tonight. I want this last favor for the year for me. Go to my Peter G Show YouTube channel and just hit the subscribe button. I got to beat these guys at their own game. I know if you belong to Facebooks or LinkedIn's and all that and you're watching from there, I know, I get it. But just do me this favor, okay? Just go there and hit the subscribe button. It's free. Just do it. Because they are giving me a hard time. They've been giving me a hard time for over a year now, and we just got to keep on saying, you know what? I'll keep on getting up, and we'll keep on moving forward, despite if you want to, hold me down. And that's okay. But just do me that favor. If you go there, make a statement. It's like making a little quiet social statement. It's like, yes, Peter G Show, YouTube, subscribe. We want to watch the guy. I want to watch the guy. And lastly, podcast. Don't forget, for those of you who are busy, the ones that watch the show, I thank you. I thank you for the final time of the year. I thank you. But if you can't watch because you're busy, and I get it, podcast, put an earbud in your ear, take the show on the road with you, take it in the car, take it, at work when you're working, you put one earbud in, you can work. Just Google Peter G Show podcast, and we're on 23 or 4 now different platforms, from Google Podcast to Amazon Music Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the above. Just do it. It's easy. You can, it's the next best thing to watching. So I appreciate it if you do that too. Tonight we're going to open up the phone lines. Maybe somebody will call, maybe somebody won't. But tonight's going to be a night where we're going to reflect. You can talk about anything you want to talk about. Hey, Pete, if you want to give thanks, you made it through another year, anything. I'm going to open up the phone lines in a couple of minutes, and we'll talk about anything that you want to talk about. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about things that I feel that were kind of relevant, prevalent. There's lots of things I can talk about, but we only have an hour or so we're going to just do what we can. And if you happen to call up, then I will bring you on in. But I hope you're watching. Hope you're going to continue to watch tonight as our final show of the year. I thought I was going to have Pepsi sitting right next to me, but no, he's busy. So he's off tonight again. And when I say off, I mean off. But he's in the backgrounds. Anyway, so listen, here's what I want to do. I'm taking it real casual tonight. I'm going to open up the phone lines in just a couple of minutes, but first a word from our sponsors. So don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are, and I'll be back in a minute. All right.
Let us help you with the high price of fuel. Hello, I'm Ty Thompson at CleanStarProducts.com. We can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Here's how. Our program works the same with gasoline and diesel engines. Whether you're using a car pack or SUV pack, the instructions are the same. Add 1 bottle to your engine oil, and each time you change your oil, add 1 bottle to the fuel tank each and every fuel fill-up. It's that easy. You get 10% fuel economy on average, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. DX1 sells for $2 an ounce, so for just a few dollars a fuel tank, you can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Come on, give it a try. It's the finest green-grade oil in the world from a California environmental company. You're going to feel it when you drive. Order online today. We'll get it out right away. CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. CleanStarProducts.com. I'm telling you, for the final time of the year, that gas, I don't care if it went down 20 cents a gallon, gas is super expensive. Still way ridiculous expensive. And even when it's cheap, it's still more than what you want to pay. Cars are off the hook. They're ridiculous. They got the monopoly on us. They got us by the nuts right now. We're paying through. Don't be buying new cars. Or used cars are almost the price of new cars. It's stupid. Take care of your car. Look at this little bitty bottle. You just put this bottle in your crankcase and every clean oil change. Look how small it is. But good things come in little packages. Prolong the life of your engine. Give it more lubricity. Less friction helps the engine run easier. Less friction helps you get better gas mileage. Improve your gas mileage up to 10% using this little product right here, DX1 Driver. Pour it in your gas tank to clean out your fuel system. Does nothing but good. And it's California EPA certified. And if it can pass California, it can pass anything. Again, if you know how much of a pain in the ass California can be lately, you'll understand. So contact them. If you want to speak to them, go to CleanStarProducts.com. They'll talk to you. Get more information on Clean Star Products, DX1 Driver. It's worth it, people. It's like taking care of yourself. Take care of your car. It's a huge investment and a little bit of money to drop to take care of your huge investment to keep your car running better and get better gas mileage. It's a no-brainer. It's my final 2022 Clean Start Products DX1 driver information for you. Tell them the Peter G Show sent you, and do yourself a favor. Like I said, take care of your car, and your car will take care of you, because Footmobile is not where it's at. So that's it. Hey, I got people saying hi. Hi. Last show of the year. I hope you'll watch and share. All right, as promised, tonight I'm going to open up the phone lines. And again, I got the shyest crowd in the world. They're lurkers. I love you. My favorite, you know, I say that with loving care, but my lurkers are just kind of, you know, they just want to watch. But if you want to call in and get anything off your chest, say some nice things about the year, about your life, tell me about some things that were not so good. It's all relevant, and it's all about that. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about things that I feel I want to talk about. And that's what we're going to do. So right now, let's go to, can we do that? Yes, we can. Okay. Phone lines are open. Any questions, comments, I want you to call in 818-259-7983 right here on the Peter G Show. If I start talking about things and I see the phone line light up, I will answer it, and you will be on the air, and you can talk about anything you want to talk about. You can tell me how much you love the show. You can tell me how much you hate the show. I get a lot of that too. You can tell me about things in your life that are going right, things that are going wrong. You can tell me about how, you know, just grateful. I know I'm grateful. I give thanks every single day, several times a day, because it's not easy. And I see that. And I see a lot of people talk about that stuff. So now's your opportunity to chime in. 818-259-7983. The phone number is up across the screen. Just dial that number and tell me what is on your mind, and we can talk about it. And that's it. It's the last show of the year. Yeah, I get it, right? Otherwise, we'll just talk about things. So I'm going to start, okay? But in the meantime, if the phone rings, I will stop. In fact, you might be doing me a favor by making me stop if you call it. So it's that simple. Hang on one second. Whoo! Smooth. Anyway, all right. I want to back it up a little bit. Since November, we started doing some segments called Getting Through the Holidays. I did show after show every week consecutively in November and December, except for tonight, having some type of guest on that has to do with helping people get through the holidays, whether it be from divorce, personal, mental, and physical abuse, children, losing parents, losing people in your life. I did this for a reason, because a lot of people just think it's them. I talk about this a lot, and I'm going to continue to talk about this because it gets close to my heart. And I did it for you. And I want to hope that it helped somebody out there. Somebody paid attention, or somebody turned somebody on to the show that needed to be watching the show for whatever specific reason. Because there's a lot of people. The holidays are tough. You know, I'm doing all right, and I think about a lot of things. I mean, every day somebody's kicking you in the stomach, and I wasn't going to say stomach. It's a tough world out there, going through, relationship issues. It's tough, and things bother me. I was thinking about this before the show, and I've talked about it in the years past as well, and I'm not afraid to talk about it because I'm typically a pretty sensitive guy. I mean, little things bother me because I take them personally. Even though when a lot of people go, "Why are you worrying about it?" It just bothers me. But the thing is, I still can move beyond it, even though it's running in the back of my head, and I wish it wasn't. Little things upset me. Lots of little things upset me. How you treat people, how people get treated. One-on-ones with people in your life that you care about that sometimes don't go always as planned. It bothers me. So I carry it with me. Even though I may be plowing through it, when I'm done, I'm thinking about that, and I wish I wasn't. That's a bad habit of mine. But it affects me, but I don't let it affect me, if that makes any sense. I mean, I guess in some ways it does. It's, it might be subconsciously holding me back in certain ways. But I'm human. And so are you. 818-259-7983. There's something you want to get off your mind. Otherwise, I'm going to just tell you things. Things I think are relevant and important. But you be the judge. So, I did these shows getting through the holidays. Every week was a different, yet similar category about, because there's a lot of people that just don't have anybody to talk to. And I wanted to make sure that hopefully we're reaching somebody and letting them know you're not alone. Because a lot of people during the holidays especially can really go deep underground, and sometimes it doesn't turn out well. I've had my share of holidays to where I've been alone. I mean, I'm out here in LA. I have no family out here. I have friends. I do, and I'm very thankful and grateful for them. I have friends in many places that I speak of often. In fact, one day I'm going to start calling up. I can make a whole show and just calling up friends and thanking them. I could do a year's worth or more. But a lot of people don't have that. They don't have anybody to talk to. And, some people, their minds are not as, even though it affects me, it doesn't take me as deep as some people. Some people just go really under the table. And it's hard. It's hard. We miss our parents, some who don't have any anymore. Some people have lost children, which is, as I said many times, I'm not even going to say I can imagine, because I can't. That's beyond. But there's nothing you can do except learn how to cope. And, and hopefully you have a good support system. You have people in your life that mean something to you, that you can lean on, that will listen to you, that will hang out with you, that will talk to you. And I hope that as we did these shows, that it meant something, that it made a difference. I hope. I get a lot of good feedback. I do, throughout the week, throughout the month. But sometimes, like I said, on shows like tonight's all you. 818-259-7983. You can call in and tell me, are we doing any good? As hard as we tried, does it affect you? Has it affected you? Has paying attention to the show done anything for you besides, there was nothing on TV? But I hope that when we released these shows, when we did these 2 months worth of getting through the holidays, that it did some good, because it meant a lot to me. It always means a lot to me, although I do these through the year as well. But the holidays just make things even more, it's even more brighter. Like when it's supposed to be, the happiest of happiest times. It's not always like that, as you know. Hasn't always been the happiest times for me either. And it makes you feel even worse than what worse normally is. And so that's why I brought it out, and I said we're going to do it again, and we'll continue to do these things, sharing stories, sharing information from professionals or normal people, just to let you know you're not alone. I give a shit. I do. I care. I do. I'm hoping in the future, as we keep on rolling and getting bigger, that I'm allowed to do more things that may bring some good. I love funny. Okay, I love screwing around. Anybody who knows me, I love screwing around. I love that stuff. But I also want to give back, and this is the way we do it right here on this show. We give back. To some people, it may not float your boat. It may not matter. 818-259-7983. Again, the lurkers are going to lurk. I thought we'd change up the music tonight, too. We're just going into some laid-back, easygoing music. It's the last show of the year. It's been a lot of work and a lot of ups and downs and stress doing this show at times. But I love doing this show. I do. If you only knew, a lot of people if you only knew how this 1 hour plus is the easiest part of the week. but it's my most. It takes all that effort, and not just me. There's other people involved too, and it takes all that just to get to here, and it goes by in a blink of an eye. It's like I wish this was the only thing I had to worry about, is just sitting here talking to you guys. But unfortunately, there's a lot more to it. How was this year to you guys? Again, my struggle is every day too. I get up, like today was a tough day. We didn't have any guests coming on tonight, except for possibly a caller, which I'll believe it when I see it or hear it. But today was one of those days where, like, I did not feel like moving too fast. I didn't. We all have those days. But today is a day that I really need to be moving fast. I just didn't feel like it. I don't know why. It's not like I was overtired, although yet I could have felt like I could have slept all day. You just get like that. And it's like, I got to get going. And then the pressure of the show, and, you know, there's a certain cutoff hour to, like, it's like now we go into oh shit mode. It's like the countdown, the final, I call it the final 4 hours prior, and getting ready earlier in the day has its moments too. But then when you get down to the final 4, it's like there's no screwing around. You better be up and going and running and making sure that all your ducks are in a row, because when you get down to the last 10 seconds and everything, you know, green lights and we go live, it better all work. And sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But I'm grateful for the time we have. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, every day, just because I'm here, and I get that a lot. People see me and they think like everything is honky-dory. It's just like you, only different. So how is just like you? I'll tell you, for me, I can't be thankful enough. 818-259-7983. The phone lines are open should anybody have the nerve to express their feelings for the final show of the year. How you doing? What are you doing? What do you want to talk about? What's on your mind? What's important? What's not important? It's all important. How did you make it through the holidays? You want to talk about somebody else, some other thing? 818-259-7983. But I'm going to tell you that I don't go through many days. I'm reading. I know everyone is having a difficult time in many ways. You want to call in and talk about it? Maybe I'm missing something? 818-259-7983. I give thanks. I can't tell you how many times a day. I mean, it's always running through my head how grateful I am, because it doesn't have to be this way. Things can be a lot harder. And they're hard. Don't get me wrong. This is an uphill climb. But when you have desire, when you have faith in your heart, you can't. I mean, you can slow down. I'm a roller coaster too. I have my sprints, but I'm a marathon runner. I just keep on running. Somebody said, you know, we've talked about this years ago. Slow and steady. Not that easy. Not that easy. You know, if you only knew how many times I'm beating my head against the wall saying, why am I doing this? But I know why. Because it's what drives me. You are what drive me. I do this not only for me, but I do this for you. Because I know there's people out there. I do have, again, I'm grateful. We have a lot of faithful people, fans that watch the show. And then I have your people that come and go. And then I also find out that when people are grabbing straws, you know, there's times in your life when you need something, you gravitate towards the show, because we talk about a lot of hardship stuff as well as entertaining stuff. But at the same time, if you get involved, let's say you're out of a relationship and your relationship went south, all of a sudden you get into a new relationship. I notice there's certain people that are close that I know that were, you know, avid followers, and all of a sudden they just disappear. Life got busy again, you know, and it's cool. I get it. I'm, you know, been there, done that. But I dedicate myself to this because I feel that for every one or two that has to step out for a while or step away permanently or whatever, there's 5 more coming in the door. And that's important to me. So I hang in there, and I've had shows on everything from, I've had to watch what I do. And when it comes to guests, there's a lot of topics I really want to talk about. But then I have to start turning off YouTube channels and all that because I've been censored. I've been shut down. I've been punished. I've been banned. But I'm still here. And I'll keep on going. Because I believe in what I'm doing. And I believe in you because you believe in me. And that makes all the difference. There's challenges every day in everyone's life. Every single day in everyone's life. I thank God for, first off, my health. And believe me, I'm not in the greatest shape. I need to be in better shape. And it's like a roller coaster as well because of time. I get a lot of time, my time sucked up for things that I really don't need to be doing. But I got to do them because if I don't, it won't get done. So I sacrifice a lot of times things that would help me be a better me. And you need to be a better you to be better, period. But I just keep saying, I'll get back to that. I'll get back to that. But right now I need to do this. I'm constantly being torn away doing things that I wish I could relinquish the privilege of doing and give it to somebody else to do. But right now there's a lot of, hats to be worn and a lot of things to be done to keep going. Next year, we'll see. But sometimes, it gets difficult. And again, I'm very, very thankful that I'm healthy enough and feel good enough and that I can keep on doing this. I'm getting more texts. I know who you are. You should just give me a phone call right now, Cassandra. Nobody's calling, so speak your mind. Tell the world right now. 818-259-7983. You're never usually available around this time. That's why I had to, otherwise you would have been a guest on this show. 818-259-7983. Last show of the year. I guess we're giving thanks. I am. Made it. Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of people haven't made it. They didn't make it through the end of this year. And we'll talk about that a little more down the road. A lot of people didn't make it. I happen to have a close friend whose mother passed away on Christmas. It's inevitable. These are the things you're going to have to go through. It sucks. Been there, done that. But man, Christmas, it's like, if you want to pick the worst date in the world to check out on, the lasting, now every Christmas that's an everlasting, it's supposed to be this glorious time. And it still, you have to look at it in a different perspective. But all is that you lost somebody who you loved more than life itself during Christmas. And that's a tough one. That's another tough one. But, people are born on Christmas. There's these beautiful Christmas babies. It's a tough one. So you have the greatest joy and then you have the greatest heartbreak of, bringing in somebody that you love more than anything and losing someone that you love more than anything. But it's going to happen in the 365 days that we have in our Earth years, so to speak. This stuff happens. It's tough, real tough. And all you can do is the best you can do. And it just, again, it leaves this every Christmas now. You have to live with this. You lost somebody that you really loved on Christmas when you're supposed to be getting together with family and all that. And these are why, again, a lot of people have a hard time with this or will have a hard time with this. And the only thing I can say is stay busy. Be around people to keep you busy. When the mind, I can't say this enough either. I guess I'm like a broken record, but it needs to be said. When the mind gets quiet, that's when you do the most damage to yourself. Too much overthinking. It's natural. I'm guilty of it too. I think about way too many things. Way too much. 818-259-7983 is the number. If that phone rings, I will pick it up and you can speak with and say almost whatever you want to say. I still have to stay off of the health category on our current shots and all that, because I'm not prepared to cut off the right channels to talk about it. But we can kind of skate our way around it and in our current health politics. But first, let's get to that. First, let's start by calling in. But you must be off for the holidays. That's why you're watching the show tonight, because normally you said that you're always working your shift at this time of night. Cassandra, I'm very surprised to see that you're watching, and I'm grateful, because I did want you on the show. I did, still do, but our timing wasn't right. And I also truly believe that everything happens for a reason. So it's not over. But anyway, so the whole thing is that we need people in our lives to keep us busy, because a lot of things, you need to talk about, somebody to lean on. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm going to shift gears. Give you an example. I send out a handful of Christmas cards every year. And it always involves pictures. There's like the picture cards, they're just like, I love the picture cards. Back in the day when I was doing a lot of music, my cards were completely different than what they are now. Back when I was doing when I was a musician, my cards consisted of scantily clad women, drums, and motorcycles, and there was always a theme, and they were eye-catching. They weren't manger scenes. They weren't really bad, but they were a little bit edgy. And because back then I had a Christmas card list of almost 500 people, a lot of music people in the business, because a lot of people, I never used to see them throughout the whole year because everybody's running in different camps. But I love these people, and we were friends, and I wanted to send them a card and go, hey, haven't seen you, but Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Still around. Haven't forgotten about you, because I love you. 818-259-7983. It's at the bottom of the screen. You can see the number right there. So I would send out these cards, and they were kind of, like I said, they were always like, because in my mind, if I can get you to look at that card and whatever the theme was, and they were edgy, someday I should repost them again, but it was like, friggin' Peter, but it put a smirk on your face. It was like, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Well, then my daughter was born many years later, and all of a sudden my mind changed, and it was all about her. And I was just head over heels. A door opens up in your heart that you just can't explain, can't imagine. Even though if you think you can imagine, unless you've had children, it's bigger than life itself. And all of a sudden, the Christmas cards became all about her and us. From a little bitty baby, now she just turned 17 a couple of days ago. And I've been getting feedback. So my cards have cut down now because things have changed. I send out, like I said, a handful of cards now. But the feedback I get, everybody's like, wow, look at how grown your daughter is, and you've done a great job. Good job, Daddy, or something. And it's like, in my mind, it's like, how else of a job would you do? It's your child. But the thing is, I am over the top. This show started because of issues in my divorce, going through it. And therefore, I give my opinions about being a parent because I love my child. And yeah, she's turned out to be a great kid, but I don't attribute all that to me. I just think her demeanor, she came out. That's why I thank God every day. She just ended up being a lot more of an old soul and a less troublesome child than most. I was a pain in the ass. That's why I owe my parents everything. They put up with me. I was noisy, playing drums, a boy bouncing off the walls, and they still loved me. But I don't have my glasses on. Calling now. Okay. Well, put your glasses on and call me. I'm getting threatened with a phone call, ladies and gentlemen. It's just... So anyway, the thing is, it's like, how can you not love your child and do good although there are a few, and this is why we talk about these things, but there's nothing more important to me than my daughter and and I give thanks again to my family, my friends, people for supporting me when I had my issues in my life. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here's our first phone call. Hi, you're on with Life with Peter G. Who's this?
Hi, Peter G. This is Cassandra S. Dunn calling you.
Hi, Cassandra. If you have the show on, turn it down so we don't hear it, okay?
Okay.
I am truly surprised. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I do work a lot of hours, and it just happens to be I have a day off because I worked so many hours on Christmas. So
Right. Well, I appreciate it. I was actually shocked because, again, I can see some comments, and I was actually shocked when I saw you come on because for those that don't know, this is Cassandra, and I tried to get a hold of you because of some topics that I was really interested in, and you were very outspoken on those topics as well.
right. Yeah. I like you say, everything happens at the right time. So yeah, I have quite a diverse background, being a registered nurse for almost 3 decades, being a certified federal medical investigator, and also my over 10 years of experience down in Brazil at the House of St. Ignatius, which the mainstream media calls the John of God Healing Center. And I'm also a holistic healer. And so I have a diverse background.
Right. Well, I mean, look, I got banned and I got suspended, just as you know, for talking about a lot of the things that I wanted to talk to you about at the time when we were talking about, the current COVIDs and shots and tests and all that kind of stuff. And I still really don't mind talking about this stuff. I just have to set the show up differently to make sure that my YouTube channel is off because they went after me more than anybody, which I was very shocked. But
Right. Yeah. Anything that questions that official narrative gets shot down immediately. And I've also experienced that. And this is beyond Nazi level censorship. And like I said in my comment, this censorship is actually killing people because it's withholding the truth from the masses.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I mean, we're going through this phase now with the Twitter stuff and all this stuff. So only time is going to tell how things start to play out. And I think that I think a lot of people, no matter how much they believe, like you believe in what you believe in. And there are people that believe the exact opposite when it comes to how we take care of our health and how many jabs you should get or should you at all. And everybody that's the problem. Everybody is belief to the core, whether it's the way you think or the way somebody else thinks. And one day somebody's going to be wrong. And I just don't think people like being wrong, and they will go take it to their death, even if it means taking it to their death, if that makes any sense.
It sure does. And the government entity also feels the same way. Yeah. The government will never admit they were wrong because the lie is so deep that if it was exposed, it would cost trillions in lawsuits.
Yeah.
And also a lot of anger. So the government will never admit they were wrong. And so everyone has to sign up to the agenda of the mantra, safe and effective.
I look, I don't blame a lot of people for believing in our administration. I'm going to use that word because there was a time when you thought you could believe, but that's the biggest problem is getting people to understand that, like, I know that how you're thinking, but things are not as they appear. That's the biggest thing is trying to say, this is like the biggest question is, why would anybody lie to us? And there's not a real good answer to that. I mean, and so therefore these people are very solid in their beliefs. And I'm losing just today, even on, believe it or not, on Truth Social, because we have a page on there too. And I said something because somebody said something about Sean Hannity saying something against that he didn't believe that the election was rigged or this and that. And I just commented, I go, I don't think that's true. I go, even though Fox flip-flops a lot, I said that that might be a false, like, what do they call that, deep fake. There's tons of people putting things out there to make things twisted and turned around. And she got really pissed off with me. And she goes, I don't put out, fake information. I go, I didn't say it was you. I said, you're just sharing the information. And she got pissed off. But that's the problem we're having. We're all fighting each other because nobody knows that there's so many lies that on top of lies on top of lies that the truth has gotten so it's just lost. And it's hard to find it.
Absolutely. And that's part of the 5D chess that's going on. Wow. They've mixed the truth so badly that it's hard to know what the truth is.
Wow. And now we're fighting against each other because I get it. I was only that person maybe 8 years ago, just floating through life and going, it's like, what purpose? What do they have to gain lying to us? Well, I learned a lot.
Well, sure. And you learn the hard way. And that's how people tend to learn, unfortunately. And I was in the same boat 12 years ago, believing in allopathic healthcare and then finally being offered hospice myself in 2011 after being flown to Mayo and going to Cleveland Clinic. And
why? What's wrong with you?
Nothing now. I'm the picture of health now, but back then I believed and gave my power away like we all kind of did or do. Right. I wound up with things like stiff person syndrome, which apparently Celine Dion recently shared to the public that she has. MS, I still get MS catalogs. I had POTS. I had numerous. I probably had more than a dozen different diagnoses. But now looking back, I think it all started with vaccinations. Oops, I said that word.
It's okay.
It started as a child, getting sacrificed to the pediatrician. And then it kind of snowballed when I got a few other upper arm bites in life. And then I wound up seeing a new dentist who put in like 8 quote silver fillings in my mouth, and I became mercury poisoned. And it all snowballed into that.
Yeah, but you gotta, come on. We all grew up. I don't know how old you are, but you're not you're not old. You're, because I've seen pictures. But the thing is, we all grew up to trust. If you can't trust your physician, who the hell can you trust? But things have changed, and they're under pressure of their jobs and who they work for, and it shocks the hell out. And I think more so, these physicians they've just depended on the pharmaceutical people who are selling the drugs to tell them what the drugs do. They're not even doing their own research. There are, but a lot of them are just like doing what they hear. And that's it.
Well, when I started I'll be 56 next week. And when I started in nursing school, physicians, medical doctors were their own business. They ran their own office. And it's now evolved to where physicians are no longer their own boss. They're part of a conglomerate, part of the corporation now, that they have to follow the protocols. So they no longer do their own research. They're just told what to do. They're just puppets for the agenda at this point. And to be honest with you, with everything I've seen working in the medical industry, nowadays they use Google. They go to Wikipedia for their answers, and they don't know. And when they don't know, they'll pull something out that sounds good because they have to come up with a diagnosis so that they can get reimbursed from insurance companies. Typically, it has to do with depression or something silly. It's all in your head because they don't know. They don't have a clue. Yeah. And they don't know they don't have a clue on how to heal or cure anything. In fact, you can't say the 4-letter word cure, because I have interviewed doctors that have been put in jail because they found a natural remedy that they can't patent and make $1 billion off of. Because they found cures. You cannot say that anymore. It's illegal to say you cured something.
Look, Again, I think it's very tough being a doctor nowadays. I know that my own parents at the time, family physician, he retired out. He got tired of it. He says it's become all business, and so he left, and he owns a brewery now.
Yeah, you're just a number. It's just all about profits. Your diagnoses get you more profits,
Yeah.
and
so many minutes per patient, and it's really become, again, it's all about the insurance and getting paid, and
oh, absolutely.
and I'm not saying this about all doctors, because there are some still good ones, but they are getting clamped down and pressured and pushed
there are
out.
very few. There are very few that I would recommend in the United States. One of them is Dr. Kent in Michigan, and another one is the Nevada Clinic in Las Vegas.
I know.
True.
I know, but gas is expensive. That's a long drive.
Well, you do what you got to do. That's what I do. I have flown to Brazil under a hospice offer to find healing. And when you're that desperate, you'll go wherever you have to go.
Again, but you believe in people, like families. I'm going to give you mentioned hospice, palliative care and all that. These people come in and they're real quiet, and they're like, because they've seen it, they see it every day, and they don't know your family, they don't know you, and it's like, they're preparing you like to let go, just to let go. And, and I told people, I said, my mother wasn't doing well, and when she ended up in the hospital, she looked like hell. She was old, and they look at you and they go, well, what do you want? She's old, and I knew better. And had I listened to them, I would have lost her 2 or 3 years prior. But I never. Well,
I was just talking to someone today about that. Look at how the elderly are treated in the United States, since they're no longer earning their living by working and paying taxes to the demons. They're useless. Yeah. So you're just a number. You're thrown in a nursing home under very poor conditions, just to die quickly.
Well, yeah, because one less Social Security check to write. But
exactly.
But I understand that. But you got families that are, again, you're trying to trust the system, and they're going, you should probably consider hospice, and they don't know any better. Their heads are spinning at the time, and that's it. It's like, then whatever happens. But I don't, I don't know. I don't know what I try to tell people, but your parents or people that are dying better than anybody. And so I question everything nowadays.
And unfortunately, the pain on this planet has gotten so deep to where it is starting to wake people up, because most diseases, ailments, disorders are caused by something the allopathic dental industry did to them. It's caused by a poison, a toxin that's accumulated, causing symptoms.
Could be. I mean, I've had people that would remove fillings from their teeth and all that, but still they passed away.
Well, I mean, we all eventually do pass on at some point, but were the fillings removed the proper way? That's another thing. I researched the proper way to remove fillings. I interviewed dentists. I went to the Nevada Clinic. I had chelation IVs. I got a plan in place before, during the procedure, and after. So, you have to be very careful removing those, quote, silver fillings that are half mercury. You got to know what you're doing.
I don't think at the time, though, when they were using that, I mean, I have a couple in my mouth because I only had cavities when I was a child, and that's it. I still have these fillings in there, but it's only a couple. But the thing is, I don't think at the time, we're talking the 70s, or I don't think they knowingly knew that they're not that they could have some adverse effects.
Yeah, they continue to off gas and poison you over your lifetime.
Well, again. But still, I think at the time that was the fix for what they knew. I don't think there was this. At least I don't think back then there was this preconceived notion like, if we put this in, we can start getting rid of people because we're overpopulated or for whatever reason.
Well, somebody had to come up with the concoction to put mercury in your head. Does that sound like a good idea?
Well, who knew? Look, I mean, we didn't know a lot about asbestos either, until later on as people started to get sick. I mean, they were building schools with roofs, ceilings with asbestos and stuff like that. It's just
Well-
kind of like, oops.
No, I think they knew.
Really?
This goes way back. Look at the Mad Hatter disease.
Wow.
That was back in the 1800s. They were using mercury, and they knew it affected the nervous system. I'll tell you this, based on my experience, my research, the pharmaceutical industry knew all this. They put a plan in place many decades ago to make money off the suffering of humanity. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything leads to a side effect, more money. Oh, this injection in your upper arm causes diabetes. Oh, there's another couple million for us. And to kill us off prior to reaching Social Security age so that they don't have to pay us out. And just so you know, that when people do die, your birth certificate is cashed in by the bankers. And when you're our age, Peter, we're worth many, many millions. And I know this to be true because I've made purchases off of that account in the past.
What do you mean?
There was a large group of us in 2016 that did a lot of research on the straw man birth certificate / bond account. And we did find that your Social Security number and your Social Security card holds all the information to that account. Which Federal Reserve Bank has your account, what's your routing number, what's your account number. And we dug into that. And there was a large group of us who started making purchases. One of the biggest purchases, one of the guys bought an RV so that he could travel around the country to share his experience and share the truth. And they had the feds waiting for him at the RV dealership. And they picked him up and they charged him. And I don't know where he is today. But at the same time, there were thousands of us, but they made an example out of him. And, and then it kind of put the stop to all of that. But in the meantime, what we did prove is that you do have an account in your name under your Social Security number. And upon death, it gets cashed in by the bankers. So all these deaths that are happening now and in the past and in the future, which it seems like there's a lot of people dying suddenly, right?
Oh yeah. Wait. You just wait. It's not.
They're making.
It's just starting.
Absolutely. I agree with that. But they're all making money off that. And that's how sick these people are. Words can't describe how sick and demonic. I don't even know if they're people.
Oh, they're people. There's only, and sadly, it's only a few thousand people that are making all these decisions in the whole entire world. But they're people. Look, you're a whole show within itself. That's why I've invited you in the past. But let's talk about, like, as much as I will, because again, you're a whole show, and we can do that in the future should your schedule change or we figure something out. But right now, this past year, I mean, what can you be happy about, or what can you be really, anything like, really of worth for the new year, or that you want to just say or talk about real quick, because we're starting to run out of time.
Well, I'm happy in my own life. And I'm grateful for the people that I've met in my personal life. I guess I can only speak for myself. I see there's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of deaths going on, a lot of confusion, a lot of fear. I just pray that people just kind of calm down and start really going within and seeking truth instead of watching the TV. I threw my TV away about 10, 12 years ago and haven't looked back. But I'm grateful because I'm healthy. I've continued working, I'm 12 years ago, I was in an electric wheelchair and then bedbound. But for the last year, I'm healthy, no pain. I'm happy in my personal life, and I'm just hunkering down here and waiting to see what the next year brings. I think good things are coming for humanity, and but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of pain and suffering, and with that brings great transformation. Like we said earlier, unfortunately, sometimes people have to get rock bottom before really implementing change and taking your power back. So I'm grateful. I've had a couple weird health issues, especially with clots in the last year, and I used all natural remedies to dissolve those. So I've got a pretty strong spiritual, I would say, spiritual team with me. So I've gotten through that. A lot of people die from those.
Let me ask you a question. Are
Yeah.
you're currently working?
Yes.
Was it a prerequisite for you to remain working back a year ago, 2 years ago, for you to get inoculated?
Yes, it was.
And did you do it?
No, no, I was ready to resign from my job. I can't say where I work
That's okay.
for several different reasons, for the safety and security of myself and my coworkers. The unions also approached me a couple times saying, please don't, because I'm not speaking for the place I work at. All I will say is that it's one of the most secure facilities on the planet.
How did you get away with not having to do what they were saying you need to do, or you'll be fired?
There were about 40% of us flat out held the line and said, no, we're not doing it.
Okay.
And with our level of security, so I have a very high security level, including FBI clearance. So they couldn't afford to lose 40% of it. And see, that's the key. When people stand up and hold the line and say no, no, thank you.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? They can't fire everybody.
It's sad.
So yeah, that's what, and of course at work, I tried to educate people to hold off.
Right.
Don't be forced into this. And some people did cave, and they're very upset because now we hear nothing about it. Crickets. So it's not even mentioned anymore.
Right. And
So all of a sudden, the federal government said it's a requirement, you have to have it, and now we hear nothing. And of course, none of our religious exemptions were ever approved, because if you approve one, you're setting a precedent, right?
Yeah. Well, again, there's a lot of associations or administrations that weren't required to get it, which doesn't make a damn bit of sense to me. There was a lot, there was a lot of entities that did not have to get that, and they did, and they didn't. But again, that wasn't talked about very heavily. But either way, but that was just I'm just curious. So, because the minute you said clots, I was associating it with what the current talk is about, getting inoculated. And I thought maybe that had something to do with it.
Well, when COVID came around this area back in April of that year, that first year, I'm still a work in progress with this quote. I won't say it again. I don't want to tag you on YouTube. But when the C came around, it's been a work in progress for me to try to figure out what exactly it is. I'm not on board with the official narrative of what this is. I have a feeling frequency is involved. Negative frequencies that harm the human cells.
Well,
And so yeah, and that can also cause clots. There's lots of things that can cause
I
clots.
was just curious because, again, you just happened to mention that. So, being that you're in the healthcare industry, I know a lot of people were forced into it and they couldn't afford to lose their jobs, and they did it. But again, this is a whole show, which I'm more than willing to do. I don't care, and I'm willing to put it out there, but at a later date.
Right.
But the thing is, you called in. I mean, I hadn't seen or heard from you in quite some time, and all of a sudden today you happen to be present, and I'm glad you chimed in. I'm glad you called in, and it's a start.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Peter.
So
And so that's great that you're doing the show. Everybody needs to do their part. I have my own show that I do sometimes, but it gets taken down. But and I'm not a trained public speaking person. I don't. It's a bit uncomfortable for me, but at the same time, I've got a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and a lot of real truth that people need to start hearing, and not only about health issues, but also about our star family, interdimensional beings, which I'm involved with. I have met non-human people face to face. But yeah, these are things that people need to start talking about and sharing, because it's the truth. And all these things are truths that they don't want you to know.
Well, now you got to be on my show because I want to meet your star family.
Well, they're here, and they've always been here, but they won't interfere. There are some galactic laws that they have to abide by. They won't interfere. So I've been working with them for over 10 years. I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of experiences. I've had Dr. Wayne Dyer's publisher call me, I don't know, about 6 years ago, asked me to write a book. But yeah, I mean, prior to that, people would laugh at you. Oh, you're crazy. They always make a joke out of extraterrestrials, and
yeah, we're the only smart ones in the we're the only ones.
Yeah, and we've made quite a mess of things, haven't we?
Kind of. Who knows?
But anyway, they're here. They've always been here. But at this point in time in our evolution, we need some help, obviously. But they're not going to do it all for you. They're not going to come down and fix things. They'll meet you 50-50. That's been my experience.
Well, look, why don't we figure some way, shape, or form for next year to get you on to talk about whatever you want, especially this. This is like that. I have not delved in this area, which I do pay attention to. But again, so we'll talk about whatever is the hot topic or whatever you feel needs to be talked about. I am more than open and willing to take the chance. I'm not scared. But the thing is, again, I'm out of time. I'm already over my show. And the thing, I appreciate you finally, because I was chasing you for quite a while and it was not easy. And then we couldn't, and then I've come to find out, again, scheduling, it just wasn't working. And but you took a big step out forward now. So like I said, everything happens for a reason. So
all right, it sure does, and at the right time. So thanks, Peter. Thank you for your time, and keep up the good work. You're doing a great job.
We made it another year, but now 2023 is right around the corner, and I've never been one to hurry up and get things over with, but it's been these past couple of years have just plain old sucked. And so
you know what? But you know what? You're doing a great job. You're getting great experience. You've got it down. You're on the right track. One of these, you're going to take off.
Thank you. I will tell my creditors that as soon as the new year starts. I will mention that to them.
Just hang in there. God sees everything, and nothing is as it seems.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right?
That is actually for sure. But we're moving forward
You're
always.
in the right spot. You've got the ball rolling. You're doing great. Just keep doing it.
Okay, I will.
All right. All right, Peter. I'll get in touch with you
Listen,
soon.
thank you. And again, yeah, for sure, we'll figure it out whether we and we'll talk about that later. I don't even want to get into it, but again, I thank you for making the move to make us to where we are right here today. It would not, otherwise you would have been, you were just a conversation from the past. Whatever happened to Cassandra, I don't know. Now I know. Okay.
Now you know. All right, Peter. God bless.
God bless. Happiest New Year to you, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Good night. You're going to want to hear from her. Might sound crazy to some, but you're going to want to hear from her. Believe me, she was almost on the show a couple of times in the past couple of years. And then things just got crazy. We got busy. And here we are, another year gone by. I don't like wasting time, but sometimes that's just the way it is. Anyway, we're out of time. We're over. I'm glad she called, though. Wasn't expecting that. Wouldn't have figured on that for $1 million. But I'm glad she called. My name is Peter G. You're watching Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, last show of 2022. And I thank you and those of you who have stuck with us, stuck by us, supported, and continue to support. All I can say is, please, 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 go to the YouTube channel because they've knocked me down tremendously, and just go to the Peter G Show channel on YouTube and hit the subscribe button, please, just to keep that from getting hurt more. And thank you for all your support through the year. I am truly grateful. I'm beyond words for all of you who know me and still put up with me. It's not easy, not at all. And I don't ask for a whole lot, except that if there's something of worth that you share and just to help others. I mean, that's really what it's all about. Life is short. Life is definitely short. And I value every day, every moment I do. Because right now, we just blinked, that moment is gone, and there's no taking it back, and you can only move forward. You can kind of stay stagnant. But the past is the past, good or bad. As I've told my daughter, I can't change a lot of things, but the intentions are good. And let me get this real quick. I've had a lot of people that every New Year's, and I've said this a million times, I'll say it 1,000,003 now. But I say it every year, I think, because when I was growing up as a kid, I go to these New Year's Eve parties and you get people that are going, Happy New Year. And they go, it's got to be better than last year. It's like, not necessarily. And we've proven that over the past couple of years. So now I think we have nothing more than up to look forward to. You got to do your part, though, people. I want you to just open your minds, stay vigilant. Don't think like this. Listen, it took me a while, too. I, too, was like this for quite a while because life was okay. My life was decent. Just going through the motions. It's like, phooey. We're living in weird times. The things that you think should be sometimes are not. And I would at least give options open to weigh out the odds. Don't be so sure, even in whatever we're saying. Listen to it and then decide. But don't be very close-minded. Life is short. And let me tell you, you don't know when your number is up, when it's time to go home. And don't take it for granted. I don't take every second that I'm here. I'm so grateful for, and especially for you guys. And I'm going to leave you tonight with a little bit. I mean, I know I'm always paying attention. I don't like losing friends. I don't like losing people, even though they may be way better off than we are. Only time will tell, right? But I have my hopes and opinions. But I like while I'm here. I'm here and I like doing, and I'm greedy with my friends. I love my friends. I don't want to lose them. I don't. And I'm just saying that take every day, and it's hard to live your life to its fullest every single day. I get it. Like today, I was in slow motion today, but I still woke up. And when I did wake up, I said my little prayers and I was grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every day, every moment, even when I get kicked in the stomach. And that happens a lot. But that's part of the challenge of growing. And growing hurts. That's why they used to call it growing pains. So I want to wish everybody a happy new year coming up. We're going to take a little bit of time off in January. But then we're going to come back, and we're going to come back, and we're going to come back in full speed ahead. I don't know exactly where we're going, but in my mind, we're getting bigger, better, forward. I say that every year. But we are, and we do. And we do. But I want to touch the millions in a good way. Whether it's making you laugh or saying, son of a bitch, he's got something there. That's my goal. Always has been, always will be. Even in music. My way of making people happy was through music. Music makes people happy. I was pretty good at it. Still am. I want to do both. So I wish everybody a good... I hope you just give thanks for however your year went of 2022, because if you're still here and you're listening to us or watching us now, you're still here. Think about it. There's a lot of people I know in your life that are not. So be thankful, give thanks, be grateful. And I'm going to leave you with, we tend to pay attention to celebrities and this and that, but there's a lot of celebrities that went before their time this year. Some were old, some were not. And I'm going to leave you with this little video. And before I leave you with this video, I'm going to tell you for the last time for 2022, be kind. Life is a bitch at times. You don't have to take shit from people. You don't have to be an ass, but you don't have to take a lot of shit, but just be kind. Think before you speak. And again, be grateful. It doesn't have to be here. It doesn't have to be this way. But you are here, and if you are, hi, my name is Peter G. As always, I love you. I do. And I thank you for watching. And the final peace out. Love you guys.
There's 70-something films in between The Godfather.
orgullosa y encantada.
I had developed a chronic fear of flying, so that.
A bit younger, yeah. I used to know a guy that looked younger than me also.
You don't have to do hair and makeup.
Beverage Show. Beverage Show.